I'm Jackie Rockwell with Brass Jacks Bookkeeper, and I'm going to give you in this video an overview of the software. So when you first open up Brass Jacks Bookkeeper, you will get this welcome screen, which will link to this video and also a video of how to set up your first company. You can uncheck this if you don't want this to show up at the beginning of when you first launch the software. After you go through that screen, you will be able to enter a existing company or you can create a new company. So for this video, we're going to just go into this testing company and I'm going to show you around briefly. So you'll be prompted to put in your password and click OK. And the first screen that comes up is the company overview. So this shows you your bank account, accounts receivable, accounts payable. It's just kind of a snapshot of what's going on with the company. If you have anything to print or any W-2s you need to be doing or anything like that, you're going to have these reminders in here. So you can close this. And then this main screen is split up into 4 sections. So there's payables, inventory, sales, and payroll. In the payables section, you have an area to manage all of your vendors. You can enter your payables that you have. You can pay the bills that you have entered. You can also enter credit card and debit card transactions. You can enter cash transactions, and you can enter check payments. So all 3 of these can also be used to pay bills. And then over here is the button that you can click to print checks. Again, I'm not going into detail on all of these areas. I'm just kind of walking you through where they are and giving you an idea of what is available in Brass Jacks Bookkeeper. Down here in the inventory section, we have manage your purchase order items, so things that you would be putting on a purchase order. Here you can create purchase orders, receive purchase orders, then those can go up here to bills automatically, or you can do that at a later time, which I'll show you in a minute. And then here's where you can manage your inventory. Down here in sales, we have managing items and services. If you're not using inventory, you can enter something just as an item or a service to sell. And then we have the customer area here where you can enter all of your customers, their net terms and all of those things. Then we have estimates and invoices here, receiving payments from your customers here. This is undeposited funds. So when you receive a payment, it will go into undeposited funds, and then it's like a purse that you have basically, or a wallet or some kind of envelope. If you think about back in the day when we used to go to the bank, this is where the money will sit until you do a deposit into the bank account. Here you can manage jobs. So every job will need a customer. And if you're doing job costing or just having any jobs for your customers, you're going to be tracking them in here. You can also sign up for a merchant account to accept credit card payments, and that's through a third-party company, and you will follow the steps to do that after you click here. Down here is the payroll area. Before you run payroll, you will need to go up here to payroll and set up the information for the company. But when you are running payroll, you can manage your employees here, which you'll need to do before you can run payroll. You can enter timesheets, you can create paychecks, and then there's a button here for tax forms, which will take you to the reports area, which has tax forms like 941s, W-2s. You can print paychecks, and you can also make payroll deposits. So the payments that you need to make after you run payroll, such as to the government. Up here we have on this right search bar, we have on this right bar, excuse me, we have a search area. So you can search for specific types of transactions, or you can do a search all, and you can search by amounts, memos, things like that. This is where you can set up company information, your company overview. If you wanted to get back to that screen, you can click here. Company options, more setting up of company. This is where you can manage your chart of accounts. You can create journal entries, budgets, trial balance is here, and year-end close processing is here. Down here in the banking area, you can manage the bank accounts that you have set up for the company. You can have up to 25 bank accounts. And then the accounts are tied to the banks specifically. Sorry. So you can manage banks here, and then you can have 25 bank accounts that you would manage here. You can transfer funds between bank accounts, make deposits, uh, enter a cash withdraw. You can reconcile your accounts. And if you need to make an adjustment to a bank account, you can do that here. Down here are some easy buttons if you needed to order checks or forms, tax tables for a new payroll year, and then signing up to accept credit cards. Up across the top here are all of the functionality that's down here, but just in a different format, basically, and more. So file, this is where you would create a new company or open a different company. You can also delete a company. If you need to import information, that you'll do that here. So you can import QuickBooks files and lists. You can set up your printer. You can print checks and other things. Company here, this is similar, new company, open company, delete company. This is where you can manage your company information, look at your company overview, budgets. We have managing departments here. This is similar to what QuickBooks has as for classes. So if you want to set up different departments for your company, you will do that here. And then every transaction will have the option to be coded to a department, including payroll. Um, expense types. This is for like setting up for tax if you were looking at something for a tax return. Check types, invoice styles. There's the different kind of lists that we have down here, and ordering checks or a new tax forms. Um, Here is where you will set up your bank account. When you're working in Brass Jacks Bookkeeper, you are always going to be in one bank account. So if you need to change the bank account that you're working in, you will do that here. But otherwise, it's going to assume that you're in the bank account that has been selected here. There are some other windows when you can select which bank account you're going to be in, but if you don't have that option, then you are going to be in whatever is selected as the current bank account here. There's some more banking options that are in other areas also here. This is where you can reconcile a bank account. You can import files from your bank here, which kind of functions like a bank feed, but in a more slower, manageable way. And then this is reconciling credit card transactions. And if you need to set your highest check numbers, you can do that there. Sales transactions are all here, invoices, payments, looking at undeposited funds, making a deposit, managing your customers and jobs. You can pay sales and use tax. And then managing just all the things that are associated with sales are going to be in here. If you have deactivated a customer, you can reactivate them here. In payables, this is where you're dealing with all of your vendor transactions. This is going to be entering bills, paying bills, creating bills from a purchase order. If you chose not to create the bill when the items were received, you can come in here and do that. Writing a check, paying a bill with a credit or debit card, paying a bill with cash, managing your vendors, managing vendor credits, entering vendor expenses, and here, if you've deactivated a vendor, you can reactivate them here. Payroll, as I mentioned earlier, when you first go to run payroll, you are going to come up here to payroll and go to configure payroll setup options. This is going to walk you through all of the pieces that need to be entered in order to run payroll for your company. The other things you can do here are entering timesheets, making paychecks, payroll deposits, electronic form filing. We are integrated with a third-party software, so you can have your 1099s and W-2s filed electronically through them. You just have to make an account and then your information will be transferred over to them at the end of the year when you transfer it. You can manage all of your employees in here and your work workers compensation class codes. Here you can manage contractors and you can also enter employee expenses down here. Inventory can all be managed in here. Accounting. So here's where you're going to manage your chart of accounts, make a journal entry, view the trial balance, and close the books for the year. If you deactivated an account, you can reactivate the account here. Search, this is going to be the same as we saw earlier with the different transactions that you can look through to search, or you can search all. You can also press Control F and that will search all. Reports, we have all the reports in here. You'll get to them from going into here. You can also create report groups for yourself. So if you are running the same reports, every month or every week or every quarter, you can create a group of reports for yourself to pull from there. You can set your preferences here. And then this is for ordering tax forms. Utilities. This is going to be when you want to back up a database, which we suggest you do every time you are in the software, or when you want to restore a database. If you click here, that will walk you through that. And then help. So we have an extensive help file that is available if you click here. Workflow Coach will kind of walk you through these 4 areas that are the payables, inventory, sales, and payroll. If you want a little more coaching there. We do have a link to our YouTube channel, which is where this video lives and many more to come. Technical support, if you are running into issues and can't figure it out in the help file or from a YouTube video, feel free to contact us. You can check for updates here. Your product needs to be registered, so you can do that here, or it will prompt you to do that after you purchase during the first 30 days of purchase. You will have the opportunity to put in your registration code, and then you can show your startup page, show the startup page or the about page. And that is a walkthrough of Brass Jacks Bookkeeper. Thank you.